Maximizers, this is Milton Herring, author of the book Your Purpose, Your App, How to Stop Drifting and Start Living, available on Amazon. Also the creator of the podcast, Maximizing Moments with Milton. You can find that on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. Hey, today I wanted to continue my theme of the uncommon keys to having a great life. And today's topic is how to master your story. And think about this, I'm not really talking about your story of your life, I'm talking about the any given moments that have a story tied to it. We see life in pictures, we see life in video and images, and when we look at things, we interpret them into our mind, and it drops into our subconscious, our belief system, and it tells us a story. What's really going on in this moment? Is it something that I've already preconceived? Is it something I'm concerned about? We all have these filters. If you're into photography, we have filters that we place on our life. We have filters and things that we see, things that we've experienced in our past. When I talk about mastering your story, I'm talking about when those moments and having those uncommon keys to a great life, you have to master the stories that run through your mind. For instance, if I'm at work and I see my manager speaking to another coworker that I work with, what do I think? Do I think there's something going on with them too? Do I think there's an issue with me and that other coworker? What story is going through my mind? Or if I'm married or have children or I have a business, what story are we predicting? What story are we portraying? And that story is going to dictate your future success. I want to talk about, how do I really change and master my story? How do I stop assuming? What do I do? How do I do that? You have to do this. Number one, you have to ask questions. You have to really ask yourself, what's going on in this scene, in this picture right now? Number two, does it really have to do anything with me? Or is it something I'm portraying on this situation? And number three, if I can get through it, I can get past it. And if I can get past it, then I can move on with a greater sense of success in my life and move forward into accomplishing what I need to do. Because if we walk around with layers on top of our head of what's really going on, what's not going on, what does that do? That tends to be worry. That tends to be frustration and stress. And we can't really operate under stress. We can't go forward with stress, by stress holding us back. It's an obstacle that we must overcome. And I tell you what, your mind, your flesh wants to believe the worst of everything. It takes effort, it takes work to want to believe the best in everything. You have to focus, you have to practice, you have to master that story, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself further behind than you need to be. You're going to find yourself moving at a slower pace than you ought to be. And you don't want to be that, because you're watching this, you're a maximizer. You want to have a great life, you want to experience uncommon greatness in your life and uncommon success. You have to do these things, master your story, because when you master it, you find clarity. And clarity brings direction, and direction, that's what you need to maximize any given moment in your life. God bless. We'll see you at the peak. Till next time.